This is an addendum to my video Morality Test Me versus Jesus. By the way, I wanted to apologize for an error I made. I went back and reread Luke 19, which was the chapter where Jesus said, "Bring my enemies before me and slay them before me." He was in fact speaking in a parable. It says this in verse 11. He's telling a story about a king, and so I apologize and I retract my statement about that. In the last video I went through what Jesus said and I offered what I thought. In this video I'll offer some of the things that I think and see if Jesus has anything to say about them. My side is a little more ethics compared to morality. Ethics and morality are very similar and almost the same thing. I would say that the difference between ethics and morality is that ethics comes from what people think from philosophy, compared to morality coming from some kind of divine power, some kind of religion, or an ideology of some type. I think there's nothing wrong with gay marriage. I think gay people should be allowed to marry. I don't think there's anything wrong with homosexuality at all. Jesus says nothing about homosexuality. I agree with Socrates saying that truth, beauty, and goodness are the best things in this world. Jesus says not to worry about this imperfect world, but to worry about the next world. I say we should love each other. Jesus agrees with me on this one. I say that we as people should be smart selfish. Hey Ian, you mentioned that in the last video. What exactly do you mean by smart selfish? By smart selfish, what I'm really saying is that you should take into account all of your actions as far as affecting you first. This might seem like it's not a good thing, but really it is, because if you are not able to take care of yourself, how can you take care of anyone else? If you can't help yourself, how can you help anyone else? Stephen Uhl talks about this in his article Atheist Ethics, Who Decides What is Good. In it, he talks about this concept of smart selfish, and he says that there are 4 questions that you can ask yourself with any action that denote whether it's good or not. Number 1, will my action help me? Number 2, will my action not hurt others I am responsible for? Number 3, will my action help those I am responsible for? And number 4, what would our planet be like long term if most people in similar circumstances did this? Jesus says that God will provide. He says that all you need is faith and that you should follow him regardless. He goes through a number of situations telling people to give up the thing that they love the most. One big example is him telling someone who loves money, who I believe was a taxpayer. I'm not certain off the top of my head. In any case, Jesus tells him to give up all of his wealth, all of his worldly possessions, to sell it all and give the money to charity and follow him. I say people can be good without God. Jesus says he's the only way to get to God. I say we should give credit to people who don't give in to their urges because of their ethics. Jesus says, basically, if you think it, you did it. He does this in a couple circumstances. He does it with killing and anger. He does it with lust and adultery. It all seems very thought police to me. So verily I say unto you, who is more moral?